They come from all across the world. 100 challengers, 4 stages, 1 goal to become the next champion. This is Ninja Warrior of Halo! Hello guys, I'm T17 and welcome back to Ninja Warrior of Halo. Stage 1 is over. 100 challengers stepped up to take on this brand new first stage. But despite their best efforts, one by one they tried, and one by one they were beaten, as this new course completely eradicated most of the competition and took revenge for the unprecedented success that we saw in the last tournament, wiping out all but 7 of our survivors. Nevertheless, though, we do still have 7 men moving on, from the new reigning champion, Smokey Massacre, to Master Nurumak. They were able to beat the first stage and will now face their next challenge, the second stage. Like Stage 1, Stage 2 has had a complete overhaul and is now filled with all kinds of new obstacles that will test our competitors, but there's now a twist. Stage 2 was once a test of speed back on the Xbox 360, but now it is filled with obstacles that will push our competitors' skills to their limit while still testing them on a tricky time limit of just 85 seconds. These 7 competitors have already been heroes so far in this tournament, but do any of them have what it takes to make it to the third stage and beyond? Let the battle continue on Stage 2. Well, this is the first time in 15 tournaments that we have a Stage 2 which does not feature Re95 or Drago is Sick. How times are changing on Ninja Warrior of Halo here on the Xbox One, as our first man is at the start line. First up on Stage 2 is Lethal Lizard. This is his 4th appearance on Ninja Warrior of Halo. Lethal Lizard is perhaps famous on this course for the wrong reasons, for being the brother of Master Nurumak, rather than being well known for his own performances on this course. That's because whilst Nurumak has had plenty of early success in his career, Lethal Lizard has had to take the long road, failing Stage 1 in both of his first 2 appearances. But he managed to turn that around in the last tournament when he beat Stage 1 for the first time ever as one of 22 competitors to move on to the second stage. He was the second man to beat Stage 1 in the last tournament. Today, he was the first. He was the pace setter who achieved what looked like the impossible, as he made it to the first stage finish line on time. The question is, can he go further than his metal spin failure in the last tournament? Or will this brand new Stage 2 be too much to handle for Lethal Lizard? Lizard is the pace setter. He is the record breaker. He will be in the record books forever now for being the first ever competitor to beat Stage 1 on the Xbox One. The question is, how far can he go? 85 seconds for 6 obstacles. Most of them are new. First is the downhill jump. You've got to roll the ball down the track, jump into the head slide, and make the gap to the other side. A bit like that. Now he's on to the salmon ladder. 6 ledges, which get higher and higher as you go up, and they also get thinner and thinner. Each jump gets harder and harder. And he's up to the 4th one at the minute, going for the 5th one. Oh no, he slips! Oh, that's a fantastic save though from Lethal Lizard. He's still on and he's climbing up again. Can he keep it going? No, he slips up again. No, and he can't save it this time. Lethal Lizard is beaten by the new salmon ladder. This obstacle is an absolute menace and has been wiping out competitors left, right and centre on other jumping courses. And now it's claimed its first victim on Ninja Warrior of Halo. He was looking good, but one slip up cost him, and although he managed to save it once, he couldn't save it a second time. And Lethal Lizard is out on the salmon ladder. Next up is our resident newcomer, because We always seem to get a newcomer make it to stage 2. This is the 11th tournament in a row we've had at least one newcomer make it to the second stage, although it's the first time since, I think, tournament 11 that we've only had one newcomer make it to the second stage, as opposed to 2. The lucky man in this tournament is Weapon Matt, who's already developing quite an impressive CV in the jumping community with some strong performances on other courses. How far can he go on his debut here? 6 obstacles, 85 seconds, and he's just trying to get the ball onto the track for the downhill jump. That track is a lot steeper than it looks, and you've really got to work hard to stay on that ball and also then jump into the head slide. But he's done both, and he heads for the salmon ladder. And he's straight off the salmon ladder as well. That was unexpected, and it must be incredibly disappointing. Well, he's already had a fantastic debut by beating one of the hardest ever stage 1s. But sadly, Weapon Matt's debut comes to an end a little earlier than he probably would have wanted, as he missed his jump onto the salmon ladder. 2 down already. Next up is Master Nuramak, and this man, it has form on stage 2. This is his 4th appearance and the 4th time he's made it to the second stage, and he's beaten this stage 2 in both of his previous 2 attempts. He's the new kid on the block, he's the rising star, and he's through the downhill jump nicely. Can he get past the salmon ladder, which has just taken out his brother and humiliated Weapon Matt? He's climbing, looking good, got a good rhythm. Remember, each jump gets higher and higher and harder. Now you've got to make this really tough final jump, which he's done. He's done it. Now he jumps into the head slide for the stick slider, launch across the huge gap, and he has made it and is heading onto the net bridge. A chain of columns of varying heights and distances, which you've got to make your way across and move on to the first returning obstacle from the last tournament. This is the metal spin. He's never had a problem with this obstacle before, and he doesn't have a problem with it today. And now he heads on to the last obstacle, the tackle machine. You have to use the grav hammer and smack the dice down the fin track or fin tunnel to the other side. Only 15 seconds left, but he's probably going to make it. And now make your way up that tiny little gap to the left. The klaxon sounds, but that doesn't stop Master Nuramak as he completes stage 2 for the 3rd tournament in a row. And he is the first man to book his place in the 3rd stage. Brilliant from Master Nuramak. The rising star on this course, his stock continues to rise. He had no trouble with any of the obstacles really. He was the first to conquer the salmon ladder, and although he did take his time a little bit, he made sure, and he will be the first man moving on to the 3rd stage. Well, after that fantastic performance, how will our next competitor fare? He's already managed to beat the odds by getting this far. Next up is Urban Angel, without doubt the most unexpected success story we've had so far in this tournament. Urban Angel has been competing, or made his debut back in Tournament 7, and in fact for the last 11 tournaments running we've had a newcomer make it to Stage 2, with Weapon Matt being the most recent, but it was this man who started that all off. When he took on the course for the first time ever in Tournament 7, carrying what looked like a particularly heavy Spartan laser, he managed to defeat all of the obstacles with consummate ease, booking his place in Stage 2 on his debut. Since then, he made it to the 3rd stage once before, back in the final Halo Reach tournament of Tournament 9, but he went out on the ever-so-tricky pillar path. He then competed in the next tournament, Tournament 10, the first Halo 4 tournament, but surprisingly went out on Stage 1. And that looked like it was that on his Ninja Warrior of Halo career. But after a 6-tournament absence, he has returned for this tournament, and he made it look like he'd never been away, beating all of the obstacles with ease. The question now is, can he continue to beat the odds and make it to the 3rd stage as well? Urban Angel. He's already done it once by beating all of the new obstacles of Stage 1. Can he beat all of the new obstacles here in Stage 2? 6 obstacles, 85 seconds, as he makes his way onto the downhill jump. Looking pretty good, hanging off the back of the ball and into the head slide nicely. This stage 2 has had 2 separate overhauls since he last attempted it back in Tournament 9. And now he's heading up the salmon ladder, looking very good at the minute, and he's up to the top of the salmon ladder, and he's into the stick slider, launches over the pond. Ooh, almost overshoots the landing, but he's fine. And now heading on to the net bridge. Moving up this very quickly, and now heading for the metal spin. This obstacle is as new to him as nobody else, actually, because it's not new. Well, it's new to him, but not new to anybody else. And he's onto the tackle machine, and he could be on for a fastest ever clear time. The record is 18.5 seconds. That was set by Re95 all the way back in Tournament 2, and it looks like Urban Angel's going to beat it. No, he's not. He's stuck. He's stuck. That was weird. Okay, he's not going to get the fastest ever Stage 2 clear time, but he is going to clear with 17.2 seconds left on the clock. And Urban Angel, his incredible comeback continues. The Grand Champion Smokey Massacre, he can't believe it, I can't believe it, Snoz probably can't believe it either. But Urban Angel, his comeback will continue into the 3rd stage. A world-class performance from Urban Angel, but now from world class to master class. This is Smokey Massacre, the new reigning champion of Ninja Warrior of Halo. This is the 7th tournament in a row he's made it to the 2nd stage, tying the record with I Spiteful that he set in the last tournament. But he should have no trouble. He has beaten this stage 2 in all of the previous 6 tournaments, and he's got the fastest time in 5 of those 6 tournaments. Can any of these new obstacles defeat Smokey Massacre? Stage 1 couldn't do it. What about stage 2? Oh, well, he was almost overshot a little bit on the downhill jump, but he's fine. And flying up the salmon ladder. He's flying up the salmon ladder quicker than normal people would climb up a normal ladder. Heading down the stick slider with ease and running for the net bridge. He got the fastest ever clear time in stage 1. Jesus! He completely skipped the second half of the net bridge, and he's over the metal spin like it wasn't even there. He's going to get a record time here. He got the fastest ever clear time in stage 1, and he's surely going to get the fastest ever in stage 2 now. 40 seconds left on the clock. There's no way. There's no way he can choke now. He has got stuck, though. I don't quite understand why people are getting stuck on that little crouchy ledge, but 30.7 seconds left on the clock. Smokey Massacre gets another record clear time. This man is a monster. This man is not human. He's not human. How many more ways can you describe this man? He flew up the salmon ladder with ease. He skipped half of the net bridge. He owned the metal spin like it wasn't even there, and to be honest, he was a little slow getting into the tackle machine, but I think he could probably afford that because he still cleared stage 2 with the fastest ever clear time by more than 12 seconds. Just, there aren't any words left to describe how good this man is. This is why he is the Grand Champion. This is why he is the best on this course right now. Smokey Massacre, for the 7th straight tournament in a row, will be moving on to the 3rd stage. 2 competitors left to go now. Next up is another unexpected success story in Walking 5099. This guy qualified with one of the best performances to get the number 97, which is a success in itself, considering he beat Smokey Massacre. But then to also beat stage 1 for the first time ever, this guy is already a hero. How far can he go as he heads for the salmon ladder? Into it nicely. No, but out of it straight away! No! Walking is beaten straight away on the salmon ladder. He's already had a fantastic breakout tournament, but it ends on a sour note. I guess he just didn't realise that he was right underneath the ladder. And you have to be standing right on the edge when you make each jump. But bad luck to Walking. And that means we are moving on to our final competitor, who ominously looks on. Can the man, the myth, the legend, the double ump get past the second stage? He failed the metal spin in the last tournament, although admittedly he was very, very drunk when he did that run. But there's no messing around this time. This could be his final ever appearance in Halo jumping. The question is, can he go out on a high? 85 seconds for 6 obstacles. First, the downhill jump. Despite this entire course being revamped, upgraded, harder than ever before, he still wants to make it to the final stage in this tournament. He wants to go all the way on what could be his final ever appearance. And he's determined to do that as he flies up the salmon ladder with ease. That was almost as quick as Smokey. And now he heads for the net bridge. This time of it is, to be honest, mate, it's looking like a mockery at the minute from our competitors. He is taking his time a little bit on the net bridge though. And now he comes to the metal spin. This is where he failed in the last tournament. Will this be the final obstacle for Ump? No, it won't! Ump's story will continue, probably into the third stage now, unless something catastrophic happens. Probably not, because he's smacking this dice down the track. He's not going to beat Smokey's record-breaking time, but with 27 seconds left on the clock, jeez, he just broke the dice. He launched it out of the track. That wasn't supposed to happen, but he clears with 22.3 seconds left on the clock. That is the second fastest ever clear time on stage 2. I'm not quite sure how he managed to force the dice out of the track like that. That was a bit weird, but he found a new way to get out of the tackle machine, I guess. But double ump made this stage 2 look like a piece of cake. He flew through the obstacles. He took his revenge on the metal spin that took him out in the last tournament. And it means double ump will get a crack at the third stage in what could be his last ever appearance in Halo jumping. Double ump going over to celebrate with DHG Fireball. He's the man. He's the myth. He's the godfather of Halo jumping. Nobody knows Halo jumping like this guy. Could double ump really do the unthinkable and make it to the final stage on his final hurrah? And with that, stage 2 is complete. 7 brave heroes made it to this stage. And whilst 3 of them were taken out by the brand new salmon ladder, 4 of them are still standing and will move on to the third stage. Yet again, Grand Champion Smokey Massacre got a record-breaking clear time, and he'll be joined by double ump, Urban Angel, and Master Noromak. But now for these 4 heroes, their toughest challenge yet awaits them. The third stage. Like stages 1 and 2, this third stage has had an overhaul, but although there are less new obstacles on this stage compared to the previous 2, and all 4 of our survivors have had experience of making it to the third stage at least once before in the past, they will face the toughest obstacles that will push their skill set to the absolute limits. The question is, do any of these 4 challengers have what it takes to be a hero and make it to the final stage? Let the battle commence! First up on stage 3 is Master Noromak. And he has admitted he's a little bit surprised with how this tournament's turned out so far. He was not expecting to be the first man to be taking on stage 3. I think he was expecting at least 1 or 2 more competitors to make it to this stage and run the course before he runs it. But he is going first. 8 obstacles, no time limit, and he is the guinea pig to take on these new obstacles. But the first obstacle, the arm ball, is not new to him. This was in the last tournament and is pretty much the same as it was in the last tournament, so he will be familiar with it. You've got to roll the ball down the straight track using the weapons or just trying to roll it normally and jump over or under the obstacles that are in the way. He beat this obstacle and almost beat the entire stage in the last tournament. Remember, he made it to the final jump of stage 3 in the last tournament, getting joint second place along with Rue 95 and Same the Legend. Can Master Norimak go one step further and finish in first place in this tournament? He is the rising star on this course. 4 appearances, 4 stage 1 clears, and 3 stage 2 clears. He's going over the last little indentation. This is the trickiest one. You've got to shoot the ball through and then drop down. And that wall is there so that you can't try and skip off of the obstacle. You have to get back on the ball, roll it to the end, and then jump onto the tiny little rest bar. Of course, the flip side to that is you have to be careful that you don't smack your head on top of that wall. But Master Norimak is being careful, and he goes onto the rest bar. And now he's going to move on to the second obstacle, which is not a new obstacle. This is the hanging passage. This is the classic Halo Reach obstacle, which was, I believe, the first obstacle from tournaments 5 through to 9 on the Halo Reach course, on the stage 3 on the Halo Reach course. It has been redesigned though. The original version on Halo Reach, I believe, was a headslide, which was kind of like a maze. This one is just a straight track which you've got to wiggle left and right through, getting past the little obstacles that are in the way. But he's made it with ease. Now he's moving on to the curtain jump, a redesign of the old curtain cling, and he makes the huge jumps with ease, and now moves on to the cliffhanger. This is the next version of the cliffhanger. This is the Shin cliffhanger. 3 ledges, extremely thin, that you've got to go across. The first ledge is, as always, a flat one, but then you have to jump up to an angled ledge, and then you have to make a huge jump to the third ledge. You can't just make a simple jump. This is a huge sprint jump. This has to be absolute pin perfect, and Norimak can't get it! No, Norimak is beaten by the new cliffhanger. Oh, it was a fantastic start to stage 3 as he beat the first 3 obstacles with no trouble at all, really. But when he made it to the cliffhanger, it's so tough. This new version of the cliffhanger, it is the next generation. That final jump is an absolute killer. You have to get it pin perfect if you want to make it. And sadly, Norimak came up just short, and his run has come to an end. Brilliant stuff from Norimak, but sadly, it wasn't good enough. That brings us on to our next competitor, Urban Angel. This is his second time taking on the third stage, but it's the first time since Tournament 9. His incredible comeback continues. 8 obstacles, no time limit. How far can he go? If he gets past the second obstacle, he will set a personal best for himself on this course, having of course failed the infamous pillar path back in Tournament 9. This comeback has just been absolutely incredible. This rivals some of the success that we saw in the last tournament, like Shady Degree, the newcomer, who made it past the cliffhanger on his debut in the last tournament, or even Alpha Boomer, his incredible comeback performance in the last tournament, going from failing the first stage to get all the way to the last obstacle of stage 3. This performance from Urban Angel is just as impressive, if not more impressive. To have returned after a 6 tournament absence, 7 tournament gap, and getting all the way to the third stage, but also getting all the way to the third stage on a completely revamped, rebuffed, completely new course. This has just been absolutely incredible from Urban Angel. He is having a little trouble with this arm ball though. Gets to the final gap. Has he pushed that ball far enough? Oh, this is an interesting technique. He's moving to the side. I've not seen that before. We didn't see any of the 11 challengers that attempted this obstacle in the last tournament do that. That is very impressive stuff. Thinking on his feet there. Oh, I think he was worried he was going to fall off there. You are allowed to sit on that little stopper. That is absolutely fine. And he makes his way to the rest bar and now moves on to the hanging passage. Now, he attempted the old hanging passage on the Halo Reach course, but as I say, this version is different. Just a simple straight track but you've got to wiggle left and right past the blocks that are in your way. There's a tiny little strut in the middle of the head slide, which is why you might be seeing the competitors struggling to sort of move across the middle of it. That's to make sure that you don't fall, or to try and slow you down so you don't launch out the other side. Now he's onto the curtain jump. Another new obstacle for him, but pretty much this entire course has been new to him. Yeah, in fact, the hanging passage is the only familiar obstacle that he's faced so far. And he's going straight for the cliffhanger, not wasting any time here. He's making his way up. Now, can he get this ledge? Nuramak couldn't do it. Could Urban Angel do the unthinkable and get it? He goes for it. No! And he does the same thing as Nuramak. And he is beaten by the cliffhanger. Urban Angel's fantastic comeback performance finally comes to an end. It looked like a good jump, but it just wasn't good enough. But he has made plenty of new friends in this tournament, most notably Smokey Massacre, who decided to jump into the water with him. He's his new best friend. But Urban Angel, what a fantastic performance from him. And let's hope it won't be another 7 tournaments before we see him again. Now for our next competitor, who's getting the traditional beat the shit out of him from Snosbury's. This is Smokey Massacre. Right, now that he's had blood splattered all across the floor, he's going to make his way to the start line. This is the 7th straight tournament in a row Smokey has made it to the 3rd stage. And it's been a mixed bag so far. He, as many competitors do, he initially struggled with the 3rd stage, falling early on the pillar path and the body prop, but he had a real breakthrough tournament in tournament 13 when he made it all the way to the final obstacle. He of course then beat stage 3 in tournament 14, but then had a surprising slip up in tournament 15, showing that he is still capable of making a mistake. But he kind of made up for that by, achieving total victory in the last tournament, so we'll let it go. The question is, can Smokey Massacre continue his journey? Could he possibly achieve a 2nd total victory straight after his previous one? 8 obstacles, no time limit. First up is the arm ball. He beat this obstacle along with every other obstacle on the tournament 16 course. So hopefully he'll have no trouble with this obstacle here in tournament 17. As I say, it's pretty much exactly the same as it was in the last tournament. Could he really achieve a double total victory? It's very, very rare to see a double total victory. It's damn near impossible to see it happen 2 tournaments in a row. But Smokey Massacre is determined to beat the odds yet again. Is that ball far enough? I don't think it is. I think you might want to push it just a little bit more. No, but he is going for it. Okay, he did get enough on it. Drops back down. Is he going to go straight for the bar, or is he going to get onto the stopper? He's going to go for the stopper. Now hit it. Oh, okay. Now he's going to put the ball back for me. Oh, thanks, Smokey. Oh, thanks, Smokey. You're such a good guy. Such a cool guy. What a lovely man. A gentleman, as well as an absolute monster of a competitor. Now he heads on to the hanging passage. This is an obstacle he hasn't attempted before. He made it to stage 2 on the Halo Reach course back in tournament 6, but didn't make it to stage 3. So this is his first experience of this obstacle. There is Snoz in the background, his good friend. They've just seen Urban Angel wipe out on stage 3. But Snoz will be hoping Smokey can go further. He'll be hoping that Smokey can get back to the final stage again, but he is having a little trouble, right? That little strut in the middle, it is designed to make sure you don't fly off the sides really easily, but at the same time, you've got to force your way across the strut so that you can move from one side to the other. It makes the obstacle just that little bit trickier, so it's not just a walk in the park. But Smokey has no trouble at all. And he's on to the curtain jump. He's having fun, teabagging. He's enjoying himself. Can he beat the curtain jump? As I say, this is a revamped version of the old curtain cling. It's just 2 big jumps from one to the other. This one is quite a big jump, but Smokey makes it with ease. And now for the cliffhanger. He's shooting it. He knows the damage it's caused. He knows that this is the obstacle to beat on stage 3. It's already taken out both of our first 2 challengers. Could Smokey make it? 3rd time's the charm for our competitors on this obstacle. He goes for it. He's never failed a cliffhanger before. He's made it to the cliffhanger 5 straight tournaments in a row now, and he's beaten it in all 4 previous attempts. But can he make this huge leap? Yes, he can! Smokey Massacre, the Grand Champion, is the first man to beat the cliffhanger. Fantastic stuff, and he's happy. He knows that the first real hurdle has been beaten. 4 obstacles left to go now. Smokey Massacre, he's an absolute machine. It's not fair. How do you make a course that can beat a machine? I don't know how, because Smokey's making it look easy at the minute. He's onto the jumping bars. These have been redesigned from the last tournament. They used to get further and further apart. Now they're all the same distances apart. And he makes it, and now he's onto another new obstacle, the hang climb. A rock wall which you've got to climb up. Make your way up higher and higher, jumping for the tiny little gaps that are positioned as you go up. And he's made it fine, and now he will transfer onto the small little ledge that will lead him to the spider flip. You now got to make a jump round the corner to get onto the obstacle. You got to be careful here, and Smokey's just judging the jump, I think, there. Now he goes for it, misses it. Oh, saved it. No, Smokey! What? Smokey Massacre! What on earth just happened? Smokey is out! Well, he beat the cliffhanger with ease and with the sweet taste of victory in his nostrils. Maybe he thought he was on his way to another stage 3 clear. He had no trouble with the jumping bars or the hang climb, but onto the spider flip, that jump to get round the corner onto the obstacle is a little bit tricky. And what happened to him? He just kind of got launched backwards by the upper ledge, and although he desperately tried to save jump, it wasn't enough. And Smokey Massacre, the Grand Champion, goes out in the most unexpected manner, trying to get on to the spider flip. Heartbreaking for Smokey, and it means he will not become the 2-time Grand Champion in this tournament. Well, with that, we have 1 competitor left to go. This could be a monumental run in the history of Ninja Warrior of Halo. Double Ump, this is the 6th time he has made it to the 3rd stage, and all of his previous attempts he has always found a nemesis on this course. First it was the Pillar Path, failing it in Tournament 6, Tournament 8, although in Tournament 8 he did finish in 1st place in that tournament, and then after 2 early exits he made it back in Tournament 11, only to fail it again. He then took a 2-tournament gap, and whilst away, the Pillar Path was gone. But when he returned, he found a new nemesis in the cliffhanger, failing it in Tournament 14 and Tournament 15. He didn't make it to Stage 3 in Tournament 16, but now he is back. The question is, can Double Ump get his revenge on the cliffhanger? Could he produce a personal best? Could he make it to the final stage? Look at the crowd that's here. Smokey Massacre, Snozberries, Alpha Puma, DHG Fireball and Weapon Match are all here. They all believe this could be a monumental run in the history of Ninja Warrior of Halo, and for Double Ump himself. They believe this could be his final hurrah. The question is, can Double Ump do it? Can he finally make it to a final stage on one of the big jumping courses? This is it. 8 obstacles, no time limit. The first obstacle is the arm ball. Just taking his time a little bit, and now he's off. Now, since he didn't make it to Stage 3 in the last tournament, this will be his first experience of this obstacle. Rolling the ball reasonably nicely, off to a pretty good start over the first little obstacle. The ball is rolling a little bit slowly at the minute, but Ump is Not letting it put it off, of course. No time limit, so you can take as long as you like, and with an obstacle like this, it's maybe best not to try and rush it. Maybe slow and steady is the way to go. And Ump has plenty of experience of slow and steady. As many of you may know, he infamously once took 5 minutes to beat the old rumbling dice back on the Halo 4 Stage 3. He's just crouching under the second obstacle and through it. I don't think he particularly likes this obstacle. It's slow and steady may be the way, but I don't think it's he's enjoying it as much as you'd think. But he's coming up to the final obstacle. That looks good from Ump. He's almost there. The end is almost in sight. It would be absolutely heartbreaking if he went out early. Before the cliffhanger, it would be absolutely devastating for him. But it looks like he's there. Oh, Ump! That was risky. Going for a sort of slide drop off of the hanging platform. But he's fine. Come on, Ump. Get onto that rest bar. Yes. Now for the hanging passage. This is an obstacle he has attempted before. He's attempted it twice before, back on the old Halo Reach course. Had no trouble with it in the past. How will he fare on the Xbox One version? Well, he's looking pretty good at the minute. He's off to a fast start. Ooh, a little bit stuck at the minute on the strut, but quickly recovers nicely. Ump, double ump. This is his 6th time on Stage 3. Look at this crowd. 5 competitors watching on. 5 fellow competitors watching on. It's very rare do you see that many competitors stick around for a Stage 3 run. We've had plenty of huge crowds for Stage 1 runs. Very rarely have we had a crowd as big as this for a Stage 3 run. That's how big and monumental this run is, because they think this could be Ump's final run. Unless he can pull off the unthinkable and defeat this near impossible Stage 3. It's conquered everybody so far that's attempted it. But could Ump make it all the way? Makes the curtain jump nicely, and now for the cliffhanger. This is his personal nemesis. Never got past the cliffhanger in 2 previous attempts, but that was on the old version. This new version is arguably even tougher with that 3rd ledge. But he just saw Smokey beat it, so that will give him confidence. Can he do it? He goes up to the 2nd ledge. No, he misses the 2nd ledge! No! No, Ump! It's all over. It's game over for Ump. Is that game over for his Halo jumping career? Well, it was a slow and steady start on the arm ball, but he was still making good progress, although he did have a very close call towards the end of the obstacle as he dropped off of the 3rd rest platform. But once he got past the arm ball, he picked up the pace nicely through both the hanging passage and the curtain jump. But it was yet again that cliffhanger, just as it is in the real Sasuke. This new Shin cliffhanger looks like it is going to be a real nemesis for our competitors in future tournaments. But incredibly, it wasn't even the 3rd jump, it was the jump up to the 2nd ledge. Ump just completely misjudged it and came up short. Maybe he was standing a little too close underneath it. Got the height, but didn't get the forward distance that was needed. And Ump double ump drops into the water for what could be the last time. Could this really be the end for Ump double ump on his final jumping appearance? The crowd is devastated. Is this truly the end for Ump double ump? And with that, Tournament 17 is complete. 100 challengers stepped up to take on this completely redesigned 4-stage course in the first tournament on the Xbox One, all with the hopes of being the next competitor to have success on this course following Smokey Massacre's Kanzen Seiha. But the so-called next generation of competitors provided nothing but a bloodbath for our course, as the brand new first stage took out almost every competitor that dared to take it on. From newcomers to some of the most experienced veterans of all time on this course, most of them just could not get to grips with the first stage, and it's looking in ominous form to continue to wreak havoc on our competitors in future tournaments. Nevertheless, 7 competitors did manage to beat Stage 1, including 1 or 2 very surprise success stories. But despite their heroics, one by one, they were defeated by the new obstacles of Stages 2 and 3. And in the end, all 100 competitors were defeated. Nevertheless, we have learned one thing for certain from this tournament. Smokey Massacre is still the man to beat. A record clear time on Stage 1, a record clear time on Stage 2, and the only competitor to make it past the cliffhanger in Stage 3. Smokey has lost none of his drive and determination following his total victory in Tournament 16, and with the way he's looking, he could go on to achieve a second total victory in a future tournament. But that is for the future, guys. For now, I hope you've enjoyed Tournament 17, and we'll see you guys next time very soon for Tournament 18 on Halo 5. Until then, guys, goodbye.